So apparently, Matt Farrell once got into a fight with a fella named Kenny.
So my best friend growing up was a kid named Kenny, and so he was born with spina bifida. He couldn't walk. He was in a wheelchair. That was my running buddy. He was my best friend. So I rode a bike and he pushed.
Hold on, pause.
What?
Your running buddy in a wheelchair.
Poor choice of words. My bad. He was my rolling buddy. So he was in a wheelchair. I rode my bike. We terrorized the neighborhood. We went everywhere together. We did everything together. We got in all kinds of trouble together. And as best friends do, we would get tired of each other's shit and we would fight. So other people would be driving down the street and see me fighting with a kid in a wheelchair and be like, "Hey, get off that crippled boy," you know? And I'd be like, "Motherfucker, tell him to get off me. He's winning," you know? Like, yeah, you know, you ever messed with somebody who's in a wheelchair? No, you know, yeah, their arms are strong as shit. But he was always sitting down, so he's perfect height. So I would just walk up next to him. He would just sling his arm out and hit me right in the dick. And that would piss me off. And then the fight would be on, and then people would drive by and think I was picking on a handicapped kid. And it's bullshit.
That's what I call equality. Wheelchair shit. When I was a kid, not a kid, like a teenager, probably 15, 16, I had a wheelchair that I just bought at a garage sale. I just thought it was cool. We took it to Country Mart, and my brother was like, "All right, you roll out in the wheelchair. I'm going to come up at you with a stun gun. I'm going to act like I hit you with a stun gun and take your wheelchair and drive off." So people think like it's a crazy prank. I'm going to fuck this kid in the wheelchair up and leave him laying there. You just got to remember, limp legs whole time. And I was like, deal. That sounds great. So we get there. I roll out of the place, my brother sneaks up behind me and hits me with a stun gun. Doesn't fake hit me with a stun gun. Lights me up in my fucking rib cage right here. There's some soldiers out front. They were good people. And the problem with good people is they saw my brother like, "Fuck that shit, you can't do that." They don't even try to help me. They just chase him to get my wheelchair, which is great. But then I get up running. And I don't know what the fuck to do. And
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
my homeboy Chris Brown, who has been to a few of these shows, Chris was with us, and Chris and I were like, "Oh, fuck." And then we see some cops pull up. We don't know where to go, so we're just like, where to go? There was a fence behind there. I don't know if there's still a fence back there. We tried to jump the fence. Somehow Chris has the stun gun. I don't know what the fuck happened. Chris is jumping over, and he fucking hits it and shocks his face. Dude, this was the best day of my life. Chris was spending the night. We weren't supposed to be out. We had snuck out. We get back to the house. We're having breakfast at my family's house the next day. And my mom's like, "Hey, Chris, what happened to your face?" And my brother and I are just like, you know, he just woke up like that. We had it would have made sense to be like we were play fighting in the backyard or something. We had no answers. And then for at least 6 months, he was like, "But I almost cleared that fence without any help." And I was like, "You shocked yourself in the face with a stun gun. I don't think you're that coordinated." Wait a second. Stuntman Kenny.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Same Kenny?
Same Kenny. Any other young men in here ever want to be a stuntman when you were growing up? You saw all the cool shit they did on TV, and you're like, "I didn't even like Sylvester Stallone. I liked the guy that actually flipped the car." You know what I mean? I wanted to be a stuntman. As a kid, yeah. So I was always doing shit. We had a shed in the backyard. I put a mattress out there. I'm doing flips off the shed. Kenny shoots me from down below. I do dying and falling off the building. We did all kinds of shit. Well, then Kenny, remember, he's crippled, but he's feeling left out. He doesn't always want to be the guy just down there play shooting. He wants to be a stuntman too. So I'm like, well, let me see if I can get you up here. I lashed Kenny onto my back and drug this son of a bitch up a ladder, and we get to the top of the shed. Now, I do a fall, because he wants to see how it's done. From up there, that shit's a little scarier. And Kenny's like, "I think I just retired from being a stuntman. I don't want to do this anymore." And I said, "Motherfucker, I had a hard time getting you up there. I know I can't carry you down, right?" So I go back up there, and I spend 30 minutes trying to talk him into. I'm hyping him up. I'm like, "You can do it. You don't even have to jump. Just lean forward." Right? That's fucked up. But he was not going for it. And all I'm thinking is, I cannot lower him down. Like, we're both dying if I try to do that. So I was like, next best thing. Huh!
Didn't hurt his legs, though.
Fucking might have broke one of them. We don't know.
Nobody knows.
Couldn't feel shit, man. Couldn't feel shit. Yeah. That was bad timing. Bad timing. That's just as my mom's walking past the back. She sees me kicking my crippled friend off the roof, and she comes out and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"